Hello again. Last night I saw Mockingjay Part Two, the final installment of Hunger Games saga, and I can definitely say that I enjoyed it very much. It may not have been the breath of the fresh air when it began, but it was only right that I did this. That with many millions made, the film opened to over $100 million this past weekend, and which still proves it has drawing power even though the saga has definitely reached its end. I was there when the whole thing began in 2012. As you can see, my views then. So right, that video when it ends. So while the first two films definitely big examples of electrical combat, third one, Mockingjay Part One, definitely was much like a political thriller in terms of writing and tone. And that's now true to Francis Lawrence's word. This last film very much has the aura of a war film in terms of writing and tone. And also even the way the action is made, since that's how it's like in the book as well, since I read it in order to get ready for the whole thing, since Katniss Everdeen and her associates, that's from the 613, and play with Katniss again played by Jennifer Lawrence, and having rescued, okay, so there's going to be some minor spoilers here and there, but I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum for those who have not read the books and other films. I've rescued Peter Malark, played again by Josh Hutcherson, and it's clear, but the whole of is damaging, but still, there's one thing to do. The strike mission back to the capital on United their districts against it. The purpose, to assassinate President Snow, played here again by Donald Sutherland, who by far reaches the peak of his performance with his character, since despite him not being that big a figure in the books, he as part of the Sutherland's request, he played a large part, and he does it quite deviously. That's his hair made white as snow, but his heart is as black as coal. And all that's definitely the best way to describe it. And the action scenes, are of course quite explosive for finale as you expect like this. That's with a combined $250 million budget of both halves, so they're making some great use of that. With all these expansive set pieces, this whole bio-digital ooze of some sort they claim it's oil, but I've never seen oil that behaves like that personally, since that's actually manages to go after the heroes, this wave of black gold, Texas tea as it were, and also just the way these massive buildings just being destroyed. A very well put together film, I would say. It's got some definitely they come a long way. Lionsgate's produced almost no budget Saw movies a decade ago. And also how they plan to reboot the Power Rangers, but that's not important right now since given this whole thing. And with this whole situation, and it's clear that whatever victory is gained from this whole escapade, it will have come at great cost. Every victory having does, and overall, I am glad to have experienced this whole saga, how kick off this whole young adult adaptation craze. That's not everyone were doing Divergent. I'll get to that in a moment. But it definitely did get people interested in this whole saga as well. That definitely managed to get us some very good novels, as well as 4 well-produced, well-put-together films of the whole thing since. And just as the films have reached a very satisfying visual end, it's also the final performance of the late Philip Seymour Hoffman, and as put by Heavensby, which part of the reason why they did it this way is because of his overdose death last year. They had to re-animate parts of the film. I'm going to do this whole into his passing, as well as it being like a parting gift to him, since, and he's no longer with us on the screen, but his performance, and it's haunting in a way, that's And I have not seen Capote or Most Wanted Man yet, but I want to, since those are really good films, and overall, much like Harry Potter, another her journey has reached its end, and so when doing my verdict, I have talked about charming attractions. Fire rating is an emphatic 4 out of 4, 4, and now some things are coming out within the remainder of the year as well as the coming year, coming year in 2016. So, of course, once again, I cannot pass up the urge to bring up Star Wars, given my Kylo Ren lightsaber that I've managed to pick up the other day. I got to do that, but that's important now. It's at a point even my little theater is accepting pre-orders for the tickets, which I definitely plan on taking advantage of, by the way, since they did their own little version opening crawl, and that's really kind of cute. I mean, if you're there, if you're for any viewers I have in town here, and enough about that. There's also, apart from that, there's not a whole lot that I can't wait to DVD. I would just outright gloss over since it's Miracle from Heaven. It's just another religious drama about a young girl dealing with disease and how, I mean, it's a proven concept to be sure. It's like this was a miracle, and I want you to acknowledge it. So I just doing something like something history kind of makes it easier. And not so much for this Risen one because it's been done. And I mean, I think I don't mind religious epics too much personally, but I primarily like the classics, like the original versions of Ben-Hur and Tank of Ninja Charlton Heston, which at which point consider the remakes of them are denigrating to them themselves. But there have been some good stuff going on. I mean, since I'll admit, since I'm not perfect by any stretch of imagination. I only had one perfect guy, and he kind of got gypped into another piece of silver, if you've heard the parlance. And with that on the table, there's also Egyptian. Wait, Gods of Egypt. Yeah, that's the one. Which I don't know what Alex Proyas is planning this one. It's just been done. The Egyptian thing, which is a shame because I find the culture fascinating. But I've seen things from Yu-Gi-Oh! That honestly look more convincing than that CGI. I mean, since I'm not getting wrong, I do generally like the original Yu-Gi-Oh! But this is from the same man who the trailer points out made The Crow and iRobot, and also Dark City, was a very underrated film, which I committed to mention since. My plan is for that to stay home when it comes out and watch Dark City again. And I may look at it and tell you about it as well, since it's a really good film. I recommend you watch it sometime if you haven't seen it already, in a sense. And I think that's about all for now, and given this whole time definitely is the end of an era, so I'm also going to be going on vacation in a couple days. Maybe by the time you see this, I may already be at my destination. Actually, I'm not going to say where though, but I'm going to try and get one more video after that because I'm dismayed I can't keep up with my Pokemon reviews. I can tell by my attire, but I will give you something special, all the same. So, you can say the voice is calling to you, so just let it in. See you around, guys.